All right, guys. This is Alex from mindfulattraction.org. So today we're going to talk about how to stop having awkward conversations with women. I'll say this because since I've been getting back for the past week or week and a half, in the first couple of days, I had a few up and downs in terms of the initial approach, and that's because sometimes when you're in the interaction, when you're gaming, sometimes you sort of get in your head, right? And that happens to every single person, all right? And what I was noticing with my conversation was that the conversation would start, but then it gets very interviewish. You see, very interviewish mode, all right? And that's what I started noticing. Even though the conversation would progress at times, the feeling of like interviewish asking question, like it's kind of like the conversation, it's kind of like the car is almost getting off the driveway, but it keeps shutting down. That's how the conversations were going. And I'm like, why the fuck is this happening? I mean, what's going on? But I didn't do nothing because I was learning I was trying to force my body to just become comfortable with the uncomfortable. And that's what I talked about the last video. So then I was like, okay, now it's time to actually start using shit. You see, let me focus on transition, because in the beginning you guys take one step at a time. One step at a time. So you first learn how to become comfortable with the initial approach and the initial awkwardness. Hey, what's up, guys? Jerry and Robert, I see you, homies. So that's not a haircut. I fucked up my hair. There's no haircut, man. Trust me. Um, anyways, so let me get back to this. So then I was like, okay, I need to find some material. So then I started looking back at my material and I was like, fuck, duh, code reading. What the fuck is your problem, D? You're not, it's like, what? Why am I not doing this? So then I started approaching. I was like, dude, I don't have to approach and tell her, you little cot. All you gotta do is just go up and just give her a crow weed. So then I was like, okay. Then I started approaching. I'm like, yo, I was like, excuse me. She was like, yeah. I was like, damn. What was it? What I said the first? And I was like, man, I told the girl that she looked like she was part of the Mormon church. I was like, you look cute. No, it wasn't like that. It was the point. It was that she looked like an angel, but that looked like she was a devil inside, something like that. I just had a little drink right now, so I'm not tipsy, but you know what happens. So the code reading was actually kind of fun because I would approach and it didn't have that like let's start the conversation. It was like it already started. Like when you approach with a code read, hey, I saw you. You look kind of crazy, but you look kind of interesting at the same time. That's odd. You like doing that. I kind of like gets them like, oh, I'm not, or I am. It doesn't matter. The response is going to be a response that usually occurs when it's a fluid conversation. You see, and so what I began doing, I began opening like, hey, I saw you. You looked. What was it again? Again, I'm still in the mode of approaching with normal openers right now. So working on doing the good stuff that I'm talking about. Because I'm gonna, I should have never had that drink right now. It is live because you're watching me fuck up on camera. Oh my goodness, I haven't. So anyways, including code read actually made the conversation so much more fun. And you know the crazy thing about it is that I was code reading them, right? But with a look of I'm up to something, like with a look of I'm trying to fuck with you. You see, for example, like what was the conversation that I had with that one girl? It was like I approached her and I was like, hey, and she was like, yeah. I was like, no, you looked like you're California, one of those girls who just came to New York City to see how it looks. She's like, oh, I'm not from California, I'm from here. And I'm like, somehow a lot of people from California. It's kind of crazy. Like you really do look like you're from around there. Where are you from? And so doing that, it kind of gave the conversation more like familiarity. And I know this is a tactic that everyone tells you to do, code reading as an approach, like as an opener, but you just don't think of it when you're in the moment. You really don't, because when you're fucking up, what tends to happen is that you tend to try hard, which is use more of the same shit that you're using. That's what tends to happen. Like you try hard. So instead, what you got to do then is do the opposite. You see? So I started doing that and I actually got the conversation so much better. So today, again, when I'm going to go back to game, I'm going to keep working on the code read and actually start doing random code read, because that tends to keep the sets like good. Because the problem in the beginning, what I was having was it was too interviewish. And mind you, I recorded everything. So I'm going to I recorded it. I'm gonna tell you a solution. I recorded everything, like from when I fucked up big time in the first couple of days to when I see the gradual improvements. You see, so I'm gonna post it by the end of the month. so you guys can see what tends to happen. All right. So that's one thing. Approaching with cold reading. All right, that's one thing. Approaching with cold reading. What else? What else? Let me see. You know, you advise to look at girls in the eyes and say nothing to build tension. But when I do, it's usually awkward and just weird. Okay, it's usually awkward and weird because you're still feeling awkward. Like you're doing it because you're not doing it because you're amusing yourself, right? And you're like, let me just fuck with her, right? You still don't have that vibe. That cannot work if you're a fucking creep. Like you can approach and like, hey, shit doesn't work. It has to be, hey, where you from? Like it has to be like, just fuck with you, girl. You know, like you see, it cannot be like staring like, oh, scared and shit. No, it has to be. So a solution for that, definitely could do a call, for example, like saying, hey, she's like, yeah, like you look like from you look like you're from California. No, I'm not from California. Sure about that? Ah, okay. Like the whole like I don't believe you. It causes people to respond. Like, I'm not lying. You see? And again, like it all comes down to how you feel emotionally, like an emotional state. You see, your emotional state is gonna be felt. And one thing that I'm not doing also, one thing that I'm not doing is that prior to gaming, I'm not working on my emotional state. Usually I would, before going to game, I would just visualize myself approaching a girl and feeling dominant and her liking me. I'm not doing that. So from when I'm start gaming again today, I'm gonna go as on my train ride is I'm gonna just imagine myself gaming and imagine myself gaming in a way that's outcome independent, in a way where women are reacting to me and giving me their numbers. Like if you make that image very vivid, it's gonna take care of a lot of the problems. You see, and that's one thing I wasn't doing, so I'm gonna start doing that again and see what happens. Let me see. You look like you're from the trailer park. Okay, look. No, you can say you look like you're the hottest girl from. Oh no, I don't know. The trailer park, whatever. You can say as long as it's funny. Like I said, you can be mean as long as it's funny. That's what I would say. You can be mean as long as it's funny. What else was it this week that was kind of interesting? Let me see. I'm trying to think. I had a couple breakthroughs that was fun. That was kind of interesting. I should have looked over the notes, but it was fun though. It was fun because again, like I really in the first couple of days it wasn't that good, you see. And as soon as I started doing the code reads, oh, another thing is the emotional state when you're approaching a woman. You see, a lot of the time the success is not gonna be based on the reaction. Right now, my main goal in game right now is to get that rhythm. You know, not that like that rhythm when you're talking to a woman and it feels good. Like you're in that rhythm, like, hey, what's up? She's like, yeah, and like it feels like, hey, how are you? Like it's more like a very zen-like rhythm. You see, a lot of the times we try to get that rhythm through reversing engineering, which is to say, trying to get the reactions that will give us the justification to feel. You see, so what I'm working on, which it will naturally take care of itself if I imagine myself approaching and having that rhythm, that sexual vibe, that's subtle. If I imagine myself doing that, that's gonna naturally take care of that. That's gonna naturally take care of it. So I'm gonna try that again today, and I'm gonna see how it goes tomorrow and let you guys know how that works out. Because I know that's gonna work. It's one of the easiest way to fix your emotional state, and that's imagining yourself reacting in the way that you want to react emotionally. Chase you rather than you chasing her. You see, seeing the woman laugh rather than you laughing, seeing the woman asking for your number rather than you asking her for your number. Because I remember when I started, I'm telling you, like last year when I came back, and again, it kind of sucked ass because I wasn't able to game consistently. But whenever I had a 3-week period to game, I always somehow did this after the first week, which was let me just imagine myself let me just imagine the woman asking me for my number. And as soon as I start doing that, that shit starts to happen. I don't know how the fuck that works. But as soon as you start visualizing how you want women to react to you, it happens. It happens. You just have to visualize it and dare to think big. You see? Oh, no FAP. Another one. It's important because if you masturbate, then you're not going to have the motivation to go out. You see, simply to get the motivation to go out, it's important. Simply to get the motivation to go out. So not masturbating. If you notice that you don't have the desire to go game, then that just means you're not horny enough. You know, so no fapping is actually good simply to get you out and gaming. In addition to that, no fapping is also helpful to help you like pull the trigger. You see, because whenever you feel you want to have sex with a girl, you don't really think that much. You see, your dick is pretty much doing the work for you. And so when your dick is doing the work for you, that hesitation that you would initially felt like, I don't know if I should go kiss her, is not there no more, because you're like, fuck that, man. The pain of being horny is a lot worse than the pain of being rejected. So let me go for the kiss. You create an enemy, which is a situation that you don't want to feel anymore, which is the horniness, because it's so much and you want to release it, that the fear of rejection pales in comparison. It's actually a very good thing to do. Let me see. Hey, man, you're taking this on another level. Congrats, you're my favorite coach. Thank you. I think right now I'm a little off. You know, I'm a little off right now. Maybe that's just my own perception. Who knows? All right. But yeah, dude, like it's, you know, it's interesting. It's very interesting. So this week, again, to give you guys a quick review before I finish this, I struggled, but then I switched up the strategy, which was I started doing cold reading at the approach, you see. And that started to turn things, and that got me to an emotional state where you felt good. That's how you do it. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye. Take care. I gotta go.